here with another video where I share my thoughts and opinions on someone or something going on in this wacky weird wrestling world. As you can tell by the title below, this one will be ones where I share my thoughts on if Jacob Fatu is really a future world champion for WWE, World Heavyweight Undisputed Universal Top Singles Champion on Raw or SmackDown. Would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. And I just want to say this has nothing personal against Jacob Fatu, the human. I don't know him, the human. I am going to bring up some stuff that he went to jail for, but when it comes to Fatu, the wrestler, he's not one of my favorites to watch in the ring or on the mic. I'm not saying that he's bad at either one. It's just one of those things that there's other people I find more interesting. But when it comes to Jacob Fatu, I'm personally not going to be holding my breath to see him as a world champion for WWE because of his past. For those who don't know, mind you, this was like a decade ago plus, but when he was 18 years old, 19, he got sent to jail for robbery related charges, and I think he's in his early to mid 30s now, if I remember right. So that's still like a decade plus ago it happened. And with the legal stuff, it could be trickier or more than a headache for Jacob Fatu to be champion and going to a, let's say if Toronto had a PLE, like a Mania or a Rumble or SummerSlam kind of deal. It could be tricky not having your world champion, not only not being there, arguably, but also not doing media. I know that for a lot of years, Roman Reigns wasn't there, but 2 out of those 4 years, it was behind closed doors. The other 2, he's just like a overall way bigger draw than Jacob Fatu. But yeah, it could be tricky from a legal standpoint with like visas, all of that stuff. I know that it was a real big headache for him to come to the Toronto PLE, Money in the Bank 2024, and all of that stuff. And I don't know for sure if it is worth it kind of deal. For myself personally, if I was hypothetically WWE, it's different if he was the tag champion or the US Intercontinental Champion, the Speed Champion, that kind of stuff. I don't mean any disrespect to the titles I just mentioned, but the World Champion is the top champion for a reason. Kind of deal. Like if you have a show without the tag championships, you're not really going to be missing much. Kind of deal. Same with the IC, same with the US championship. But when it comes to Fatu, if he hypothetically wins it, it's gotta, I just don't see it happening for too long. Don't get me wrong, I would much rather see him as a world champion for WWE than Solo Sikoa kind of deal, because even though, like I said, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Fatu, he's a lot more entertaining than Sikoa for myself personally. But is he a future world champion? If it weren't for the legal stuff that has happened while he was granted in a adult, but still I'm just going to be like holding my breath about it. But yeah, overall, it's one of those things where I don't mean any disrespect to Jacob Fatu, but I would much rather see, let's say, Chad Gable become world champion. I would much rather see either member of the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, as a world champion than Fatu right now. But yeah, I'm not totally against it in comparison to other wrestlers on WWE related programming, but he's not my personal top pick, I guess. But yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you guys are doing okay mentally, emotionally, and physically.